Elise Quevedo has been voted the top 100 entrepreneur to follow on Twitter in amongst a very big group of very well-known people. She's an author, inspired speaker, and a very sought-after social media strategist who loves to inspire audiences while keeping them completely entertained. Now, personally, she believes values, honesty, and integrity are key values in business, unlike many people I'm sure you've experienced and met over your own time in business. And on this occasion, Elise will be presenting social media and Twitter domination. I can't wait to find out what she's going to share with us, ladies and gentlemen. Elise Quevedo.
Wow, thank you so much. Shukran, everybody, and welcome to this TED Type Talk. And if there is one thing that I want you guys to take out of these presentations is that no matter what strategies you are taught or shown, you gotta take massive action. Make sure that you go out there and implement what you're learning, especially as when we talk about social media, a lot of individuals and businesses stay away because they think that they either need to spend like lots of hours on the platforms, or because they believe that it's a place for teenagers, like to broadcast what they had for breakfast, and that's definitely not what we are here for. The truth is that social media has become an essential business tool. So as businesses, the first thing that we need to think about is who within our business is actually in charge of our social media strategy, as in who's in charge of implementing it, and most importantly, and this is paramount, do they have the right knowledge and psychology to create those strategies for us and our business? Because what works in one platform will definitely not work on another. And this is love about social media. And it's just like Dumbledore said here on the screen. He says, it matters not what someone is born, but what they grow to be. Now let me put that in social media terms for you. It doesn't matter if you open a Twitter account 5 years ago, like I opened mine in 2009, and I didn't do anything for like 2 years. It doesn't matter if you open a Facebook page and you didn't post anything, or even if you signed up to LinkedIn and you did zilch. Nada, zero, niente, okay? Because at the end of the day, with social media, what matters is what you do as of today. Because in social media, we can start from scratch at any time. So anyone, and I seriously mean anyone on this call and around the world, no matter what you're at, can become elite players within their niche, within your market. And this is what most of us have done. Like, we've all started at zero, but practice and practice to become really good at it. And this is what you can do for your brand within social media. Because what social media does, and Alex just spoke about it, it gives you that credibility. Social media gives you visibility, and the best thing is that it happens no matter where you are in the world. We have people from 70 countries right now, and we're all listening to different people. We can all connect through the Facebook page, through the hashtag on Twitter. And studies also show that 72% of adults online use social media sites. So it's definitely a no-brainer for a business when it comes to using the platforms. And from my point of view, social media is innovation. It's evolution. Now let's think back for a second. Imagine back in the days, right? Like, long gone are the days of communicating with people by smoke signals, right? Or, you know, like the beating of the drums. And who can tell me, when was the last time that you wrote a handwritten letter? In between emails and texts and, you know, like Twitter and Skype, we no longer do that. Back in the day, handwritten letters were delivered by like horseback or even foot. Evolution is about adaptation, and so is social media. Now, I'm not here to say that, oh my God, social media is the next best thing and this is what you have to do for the rest of your life. No, okay? And it's a new tool that we need to learn and adapt as part of our business strategy. So it's just part of it. Now, let me try to explain it this way. And I know earlier somebody else was talking about cars. I'm definitely a car fanatic, and social media is just like a car. Check out this amazing Lamborghini, right? You look at it and it's like, whoa, I want a piece of that, right? Well, imagine that you have a car like this, and now let's look at the components. A car has an engine, and for example, for me, the engine is Twitter, and then you have the brakes. The brakes could be Google, and then you have the fuel tank, which could be Facebook. So we've got the fuel tank, and then what else? So we've got things like the mirror, and the body, and the bonnet, and the trunk, right? So imagine each of the social media platforms as an important component of a car. Take one out, and the car isn't complete. Does that make sense? So if you were to take out the steering wheel out of this amazing Aventador car, would the car work? Well, the car technically would still look great, it would still be there, but it wouldn't be drivable. So every platform that we use, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, each one has its own purpose. So what applies on Twitter will not necessarily apply on Facebook, and what applies on Facebook doesn't necessarily apply on Twitter. And it goes the same with LinkedIn. They all have their own psychology, just like a car has a powerful engine or a fuel tank. You need them all for social media to work properly, because this is what happens with social media. It can take you from local to global in a matter of seconds. And with that being said, let's get started with some of the gold rules of social media. And today I want to share 3 of them with you, because I've got a lot of things to talk about you today. And number 1 is personality, okay? Don't take yourself too seriously when it comes to online branding and social media. And I don't mean that, don't go out there and start being a clown and start making jokes and stuff like that. But social media is about being social. And what that means is that you need to have a good personality online to make your brand likable, because people cannot see you in person. Like, I'm a lot of fun. When I'm on a stage, you never know what you're going to get with me, okay? Last time I was on a stage in Israel, I ended up dancing on a stage, and that normally doesn't happen. But if you're listening to me right now, if you look at my profiles, you can see that. So what's going to make you stand out? It's going to be your personality online. And there are definitely techniques to that. Number 2, and this is gold, is value. And this is paramount, really, really important. And we are back to what I said at the beginning about not wanting to know what you had for breakfast, or, like what color your pants are now today. This is not what we're here for. We must produce very good content, because if you don't, then any tactics that you use online will most likely fail. And number 3 is remember to tango, baby. And I bet you're never going to forget this one, right? Who's heard the phrase, it takes 2 to tango, or it's a 2-way street? Well, that's what social media is for me. And I see this with so many companies that concentrate on loading networks with content. And I mean, we all know that content is king, and it could be the best content in the world, but guess what? Without engaging conversational posts and without replying to your raving fans, then your audience is going to get lost. It's just like having a conversation amongst friends, right? Which is what I'm imagining having right now. I'm imagining you guys sitting here with me and having a conversation. So it's a 2-way street. It means that somebody asks questions on social media, then make sure that somebody else answers them, right? Some of you may have noticed that I've also been commenting on some of the posts on Facebook, because it's all about having a conversation with people who make an effort to take action. Does that make sense so far about social media? So in social media, unless you're Lady Gaga, right, it's not all about me, and oh yeah, me. I mean, it is about us, right? But we have to let our audience know that we care and that we are listening. And we do that by engaging on conversations on Twitter, replying through our messages. And you don't have to reply, within like 2 or 3 minutes, but make sure that you reply at least within 24 to 48 hours maximum, especially if you're doing it, like everything on your own. And now, onto my favorite platform, which is, of course, Twitter. Now, that is where I started, but just like I mentioned at the beginning, I also adapted. I learned other networks to be able to become a strategist and not just a one-hit wonder, with like, oh, I became really good at Twitter, but I explored other networks because social media is evolving all the time. And, because what good is it having access to a car, right, if it doesn't have a fuel tank or a steering wheel? You need to be able to work all the different components. Now, Twitter is the simplest platform to conquer. Do you guys remember that phrase that says, Vini vidi vinci, I came and so I conquered? Well, we can all conquer Twitter if we know how to do it right. And one of the easiest steps is by optimizing your profile, which is exactly what I'm going to show you today in 6 simple steps. And we must remember this: if our profiles look boring, then people are not going to click on them. So first I want to show you pictures of what not to do, and I call these the no-nos. And as you're going to see, these profiles don't have pictures or information. Let's look at the first one, right? By the way, these are all real profiles that I either found online or because they approached some of my clients. Now, let's look at this one. Trade Wizard, he's an investment person. And for all we know, he could actually be a really good investor and a financial advisor in the world. But guess what? His online profile lacks credibility. He's got no picture, he's got no website, and you're asking for money from people? No way. Then we've got the Twitter, dun, dun, dun. But check it out. He's got how many tweets? 4. Hello. If you're going to say that you're an expert, you better make sure you back it up, right? And then check this one out. Social media king. Wow, he must be really good, right? Over 6,000 tweets, all this content, but only 300 followers. Well, obviously, that means that his content is not engaging enough. So now let's look at what I call the yes profiles. And these are examples of actually some of the Middle East accounts from journalists like Ahmed, who's very quite known in the industry when it comes to blogging the Middle East. And then we've got Dubai Expo 2020, who's already got their own Twitter account, over 90,000 followers, and they're keeping the world updated with what's going on. And even though they only got chosen a few days ago, and of course, Sheikh Mohammed, with over 2 million followers. The Middle East is up and coming when it comes to Twitter. Everybody is using social media. So now, let me break it down to you on how you can optimize your personal account. And I'm going to share it on mine because at the end of the day, not only do we have to talk the talk, but we have to walk the walk, right? So what better way to show you than with my personal account? So number 1, you notice that I've got a bio. It means that there is a photo of myself, because remember, people buy from people. They want to know that you're a real person, okay? So a smiley face as your profile goes a long way. Number 2, the header background. And this is something that even celebrities and top dollar social media strategies miss out on. Because last year, Twitter introduced headers, which means that you can actually upload a personalized graphic. And up to this date, millions of accounts still remain without a background. They just leave the black one, which is kind of cool, but it's just going to make you ordinary, and you want to be extraordinary. Number 3, the bio. If you don't tell the world who you are, how do you expect to get traffic? Okay, this is where you you use what keywords do you want to be known for. An example, myself, I want to be known as an author, speaker, social media strategist, and so forth. So what do you want to be known for? What do you want your company to be known for, right? Once you figure that out, then make sure you use the same keywords across all the social media platforms. Because let me tell you something, did you actually know that if you brand all social media networks under the same name, you will always dominate page 1 of Google? Let me explain that, all right? And I wasn't really going to go through this, but what is the first thing that people do when they hear about you, especially if they don't know you? They normally Google you, right? So what comes up when you Google yourself? Social media networks are so powerfully ranked that your social networks always come up on the first page. And some of you may say, well, Elise, like I have a common name, or a million people have my surname. Well, guess what? Remember, this is just for branding purposes, okay? You can change your name slightly when it comes to spelling. So maybe just like add a letter or take out a letter and then brand everything under that. You'll be amazed at the results. And also, this is the section where you would have, a call to action, whether it's a link, an opt-in page, a website, a blog, and up to 80% of accounts nowadays, they still miss out on giving a link. It's a simple step, but it definitely makes a difference. Then the background photo. Although a very simple detail, it makes a difference to the overall look and first impression of the account. Number 5, interesting content. Remember earlier when I said, it's not about me, right? Well, here's where you share photos and quotes, and it doesn't take longer than your average tweet. And number 6, followers. Just make sure that, if you want to look as, like an authority, then make sure that the amount of people that is following you is higher than the amount of people that you personally follow. And if you follow those simple steps that I've just given you, then you'll definitely stand out, okay? Because most people don't bother putting a bio or a website link like I just said. And Dr. Seuss once said, why fit in when you were born to stand out, right? So we have to apply that behavior online. When there are thousands and thousands of people within our niche, what's going to make you stand out from the rest? We got to remember that this is for business. And now let's move to the last, which is key steps to Twitter success. And number 1 is to establish clear goals. And by this, I mean develop a plan of what you want to achieve with your Twitter engagement, okay? Like, do you want to promote your products and services, or do you want to build your brand? Or do you, like myself, who I've got about 500,000 followers, do you want a big following to stand out in your field? Anything and everything we do online, we must have a plan of action before we begin, okay? Number 2, want to succeed with Twitter? Well, then add your handle everywhere. I'm talking from blogs to websites to other platforms, and that will also be backlinking, which means that you're directing traffic in between websites. And it doesn't matter what niche you're in, because it's all about adapting these new networks and social media platforms onto what you're already doing and implementing as a business, which is what I mentioned earlier. Number 3, have fun. I think you probably can hear it on my voice that, I love having fun, and it is about mixing business with pleasure on Twitter, because it is about keeping your audience entertained and inspired whilst giving good information about your business. So check out this sports team as an example, who's now advertising their Twitter names instead of just their name. That is called clever marketing. And lastly but not least, do what the Twitter pros do. And it's as simple as that, guys. Now, duplicate what others are doing who are already successful. And I don't mean to say become a copy of what someone else already is, right? Let's make sure that this is clear, because at the end of the day, we're all unique individuals. What this means is that be inspired by those who are already successful within your niche and apply the strategies that they are using, but molded to your business, right? We all hear the whole thing about don't reinvent the wheel, right? The wheel is already round, but some wheels are faster than others. It is the way that you apply to business. And Jack Dorsey, the co-founder of Twitter, says, get your idea out of your head and share it with the world. Twitter is the best platform. Be innovative. Which comes back to what we started with today, that Twitter and social media are innovation. They are the next revolution. And it is up to you guys to decide if you want to be a part of it. Because look, we are all beyond measure. And if there is one thing I want you to take out of today, is that Twitter and social media can be just as powerful as the lion that you can see on the screen right now. And I always have that on my head. I'm as powerful as I want to be. The tools are there. How far you adapt it, how you innovate into your business, well, that's going to be down to you, okay? So now, let's give you a gift, shall we? And I feel so nice that I'm giving you not one, but actually 2 gifts. Now, the first one is going to be a copy of my first book called Creating a Kick-Ass Attitude, which is like a pretty cool book. It'll definitely make you smile and, you know, make you get that right attitude to implement everything else that you do in life. And number 2, I'm going to give you a copy of a startup guide called Twitter Profit, which has some really cool strategies in it. And, you know, I've got a really cool video on the page as well. All you have to do is go to middleeastinternetsummit.com/Elise. And as a personal bonus, this is not even on the page. I'm actually going to send you personally myself, for anyone that gets my bonus, I'm going to send you a list of sites where you can even make money from tweeting. Yes, you heard me right. You can even get paid to tweet, and I will send you a list. So with that said, Ernesto, I am handing it back to you.